Hello, everybody. We are talking today about how to navigate yourself through this changing world, and maybe to just give some clarity on what Isolde does is we work with PSYCH-K to help you a little bit understand how you can negotiate yourself, but then also what is this thing, this changing world, and what is happening with us as human beings, right? Isolde?
Totally. So yes, this is a series of 3, and this is the first episode. So like Alma said, today we're going to go more into like the larger view of what we're all going through at the moment as humankind, and this changing time that we are navigating. And we, myself and Alma, have been in this industry of transformation for many years and found this amazing tool that we felt was just life-changing and on the cutting edge and leading edge of energy psychology and navigating our reality. So Alma, do you mind sharing a bit about what PSYCH-K means, what it is, and your role in PSYCH-K?
Okay. So first of all, I'm going to start with my role. My role is that I'm a certified PSYCH-K instructor, and I teach people how to work with PSYCH-K, and they then become facilitators, and that means they can help themselves and others, but they can't teach PSYCH-K. So that's basically what my role is. What I want to share just very quickly is, Isolde, I was looking at the other day for how long I've been searching for this missing link, right? The missing P-E-A-C-E or peace in my life.
Peace.
Yeah, and when I looked at the dates, it's quite incredible, because PSYCH-K manifested through Rob Williams about 36 to 38 years ago. And it was 36 years ago, almost to the year, that I realized there is a missing link.
Yeah.
So as PSYCH-K was born, I started searching to find that. Isn't that just amazing?
Yeah, and I can really relate with what Alma is saying about the missing piece or the missing link, because in my own practice and my own search for answers, dealing with chronic disease from a young age and eventually cancer, nothing wanted to last. Nothing that I did wanted to integrate. I would get results, but then the symptoms would come up again in some other way, especially the mental and emotional symptoms that I was experiencing that was manifesting as the physical symptoms. And that's what I was concerned about. And I was like, I've been searching so far and wide, like, what is this? I know there is something out there. What is it? What is this missing thing that I'm searching for? And then that's when I found PSYCH-K, and that's when everything just integrated for me as well. And I started getting tangible and lasting results for the first time in my life of being on a very long search, and I've been symptom-free since.
Yeah.
So that is my experience with PSYCH-K, and why I am so excited and passionate about sharing it with the world, because I could just really see, taste, and feel the results in my own and in my clients' lives.
And I'm sure many people are just wondering, well, what is it? What is it about PSYCH-K that makes it so different? Because listen, let's be honest. There's a lot of talk at the moment of subconscious change programs, okay?
Yes.
And what I want to say to people, and please, I'm not breaking anybody down, but I stay on top of it. Whenever I hear of a new modality or whatever, I either try and get a session, or I go into the modalities to try and figure out what it is. And the reason why I do that is so that when I stand in front of the class or when I have clients, I can say with utmost certainty that it is still the best change model, sustainable change model that I have found in my life in the last 36 years that I've been looking for. So let's talk about subconscious change.
Let's talk a little bit about that. What is PSYCH-K actually?
So PSYCH-K is a set of different processes, and every process, the subconscious mind, actually, when we check for it, the subconscious mind decides which process will make the change easier, which already tells you you're working with such intelligence, whether it's your own or your subconscious intelligence or the intelligence of the process. So with PSYCH-K, it takes literally, depending on how well you practiced in the practice, from, I've timed myself 28 seconds to about a minute if you're not if you're still starting off.
Yeah.
So let's be generous. Say it like takes a minute and a half to connect with the subconscious mind. And then we go through various processes to get us to the point where we say, okay, now the subconscious is ready, the conscious mind is ready, and the superconscious mind is ready. And everybody is in congruence, and now we can make the change. And once we start that change, it can be almost instant, or up to, Dr. Bruce Lipton, he talks about 15 minutes. So it's very fast and very quick, and it's completely sustainable. There's none of the stuff, okay, now I've done this, now I've got to go and repeat something. Now I've got to every day take half an hour or 15 minutes and get myself into that position. There's none of that stuff of, I have to keep my vibration up, I have to do this, I have to do, it's none of that.
It's once the process is done, it's complete. And this is also one of the reasons why I love PSYCH-K. With other modalities that I tried in the past, is that I had to repeat the affirmation going home. I needed to carry on repeating it. And with tapping, carry on tapping, carry on repeating. Where with PSYCH-K, once the process is complete, it's complete. So that's what I really love about that. And speaking about a changing world, as we are growing and changing, I see this with this modality, we are expanding. So things are becoming easier. So it's I think it's a very exciting time in energy psychology and in the world, and that we've really come to a place where we're like, wow, this is how it works. This is how easy we can get access to it. And the difference between energy psychology and psychology, Alma, is that we use body techniques to access the subconscious better, right? So just so that our viewers understand, what's the difference between traditional psychology and energy psychology?
I heard Rob Williams speak, and he's the originator of PSYCH-K, and he was telling the story of, he was also working with psychology, and he kept on saying he would listen to these people and he'll understand what's going on in the physical brain and also in the subconscious mind. Because when we keep on repeating something, the subconscious mind starts reacting as if it's still real. So if you're standing at a cocktail party and you're meeting somebody, right, and you've had bad experiences with the opposite sex, your go-to will be, without you even knowing it, oh my goodness, do I need to take this chance? Is this going to be hurtful or whatever? Totally. So what Rob has said, he said, to what end?
Yeah, and totally. That end. It's like repeating it. And that was my experience as well. It felt good to be able to share, because I went to traditional psychologist as well. And it felt good. But then at a point, and this was my mom's experience working in the community and also referring a lot of people to psychologists, that the shifts in their lives were just not taking place. They were in the same place talking about the same things over and over again. So it was nice for, it's nice for a little bit, for a couple of weeks maybe, and then what's the next step? Like, how do you actually create a new pattern or a new experience in your life and not attract that same story, right? Because what we fear or what we keep on focusing on, that's what we keep on attracting. And this is this missing key that me and Alma are talking about. Like, when we found this, it's like, yay, this is like a very fun and effective and quick tool to get access into the subconscious mind. And what they found with energy psychology is way more effective, adding the body techniques to the psychological process for that real change to pattern to take form in our bodies and in our minds, right?
Yeah. So, but when we talk about body techniques, I'm just going to keep on calling them PSYCH-K processes. Okay.
Yes, PSYCH-K processes.
It's
Sure.
just, all right, you just sit in a certain way or you do something, but it's very, very, very simple. And I think that's something else that is really important. But I want to backtrack, because why are we here today? We are here today to say, how are we negotiating ourselves through this changing world?
Yes,
and
how does PSYCH-K relate to this changing world?
Exactly. Exactly. But let's take a look at the changing world. You've heard Isolde say something about when we put our attention, we create. So that's another concept that we can maybe go in more depth at another time, because this is a big concept. To touch on it for a minute is what it means, is what we focus on. When we focus on either the positive or the negative, we interact with quanta, which is another new thing. You know, we all know about quantum physics, and then we go, oh goodness, that's too much. But it's actually very simple. So that's, I think, calls for another discussion. But to just know that every single person on earth, when you focus on something, you're interacting with something around you, which reacts and manifests the very thing that you are focusing on. Yes. Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
And so what changing the subconscious means is that we change it from a consistent negative pattern of thinking and being and vibrating, because we are energy beings. Yeah. The minute we change through PSYCH-K or with PSYCH-K that belief pattern, your whole system changes, because your vibration changes, your energetics change, and your focus become onto what is good and solid and what you want and how you want things to be. As long as you take action steps to help this process along, it manifests almost magically.
So why is there this magic element to it? You just said it kind of magically happens. What happens in PSYCH-K? How is it connected to bringing forth a different reality?
Okay, so by going through this process, we access the subconscious mind. Now, Dr. Jeff, a neuroscientist, Dr. Jeff Fanning, actually has tested people with thingies on their heads and everything, and it's easy to just Google him, and he talks about PSYCH-K and the research they've done.
Yes, it's like neuro devices where they read the brain waves.
Yes. So what they've seen is they test to see how the brain is wired, left and right hemisphere, all right? And then they see how it's rewired itself after a balance. And what they found is that, you know, we all have been taught we either left-brained or right-brained, which is absolute nonsense. I want to tell people something. This is something you have not been taught. And that is that you were born with a capacity for both hemispheres, your left hemisphere of your brain and your right hemisphere of the brain, to be equally engaged. And not just equally engaged, to actually operate as, my face is gone, but as a unit.
A unit, yes, in congruence with each other.
Yeah, we call that a whole brain state. And when you are in a whole brain state, you work to optimum capacity.
Yeah.
And when you work to optimum capacity, you become a superhuman being.
Yay.
Yes. Okay. And then that superhuman being and the thoughts that you emit subconsciously and consciously are so positive that the interaction with quanta then drives quanta to manifest into the very thing that we want to be, or that we want, or how we want things to be.
Yes. So that's the quantum field, the space of all possibilities. And when we are in congruence, our left and our right side, we are basically accessing our full power as a human being, and we can have a clear conversation with the quantum field and things start manifesting.
Exactly.
So we are in vibrational alignment with what it is that we desire.
Yeah.
And having that conversation with the quantum field of all possibilities, because we are master manifestors, right?
Yeah.
That's what we were born for. So
So
when Alma and we speak about superhuman, that's the superhuman. We
yeah.
are conscious creators if we so choose and if we step into alignment.
Yeah.
So about the changing world, Alma. So
Okay.
why is PSYCH-K important for the changing world?
When we look around us, I think a lot of us are nervous. A lot of us have had, especially almost in the last 3 years or 2 years, had some really wake up calls about what is happening with the world. When we are programmed to think negatively about the world, in other words, oh my goodness, the government is this, oh my goodness, the financial places are going to crash, oh my goodness, this and that. What we're doing is we're contributing to that situation. So I was just listening to Pam Gregory this morning. She's a beautiful astrologer or astronomer, and she just said, this is the time where we consciously have to shift our focus. And this is what I want to say.
Yeah.
When you use PSYCH-K, you shift not just your conscious focus, you shift your subconscious focus. But for you guys out there who haven't done PSYCH-K, how can you contribute? How can you navigate yourself through this time until you can get to PSYCH-K?
Yes.
You have to become very conscious about what you say, what you think, and what you do, and the assumptions you make about the world and you within that world. Because the good news is, I get very emotional with this because it's so important. You are the creator of this reality that we see. And if you decide who you want to be in the future, and if you decide and dream, dare to dream what world you want to have in the future, and you use that, so when you feel yourself going because of all this stuff going on, and you can remember that dream, in that moment, when you shift your focus from feeling terrible and being dragged down and tired and scared and petrified and heart sore and broken, and you can remember the dream you dream of how you want to be, what you want to be, and how you want the world to be. Yeah. When you can shift your focus to the dream instead of what we call the reality, because this reality is only the reality because we focus so much on the negative that it becomes a solid world.
Yes, like the story with the news, like focusing on the negative, and the more we've done that as humankind, the more we've created that. So now we get to observe, wow, we are so powerful. Look what shit we created by focusing on all of it. So how can we, shift our focus and co-create a better world together? Yeah.
So I'll just quickly talk, I think, because I don't know how long is this, how long have we booked for this thing?
It's up until we are complete.
Okay, so let me quickly just explain what happens in 5 steps when you change your perception in the moment. In other words, when you shift your focus. So here you are driving in your car and somebody flips in front of you and they nearly cause an accident. And you go, oh my goodness, this stupid man or the stupid woman or the stupid driver, and you go off. If you can remember to then just take a breath and shift your focus to, thank heavens I'm alive. Just let your eyes go and see the beautiful sky. Think about your grandchildren. Think about your children. Think about what makes you happy in that moment. When you shift your focus, a couple of things happen in a nanosecond. So the minute you shift your focus, which is the only conscious thing you have to do, right? The minute you shift your focus to something beautiful, 4 other things happen in that nanosecond.
Okay.
First, you change your perception.
Mhm.
The minute in that nanosecond, as you change your perception, you change all 50 trillion cells in your body's chemistry.
Yeah.
Because the minute you think of something beautiful and you evoke the feelings of happiness and gratitude and all that, the chemistry in your brain, whatever is there in your brain, excretes chemistry in a flash to all 50 trillion cells in your body, to good, to feeling good. So that happens automatically.
Yeah.
So you shift your focus, you change your perception. The minute you change your perception, you flood your system, and you change.
Biochemically, you're a different being. Yeah.
Yeah. So this comes back to us being superhuman, because we are in control of our chemistry.
Yeah.
Okay. And the minute we've done that, you create a new reality.
Just like that.
Just like
that. So it's all about being present, nipping it in the bud, as they say, right? So we feel what we feel. We're human. We've got emotions. We are built this way. So it's not about like pushing that away and not feeling angry or not getting upset. It's allowing yourself, in fact, to actually feel it fully, and then go, okay, what do I choose as a conscious creator? And that's where gratitude is so powerful, right?
Very
and the
powerful.
heart space. And that's what I like about PSYCH-K. It aligns us. It's not just mental, it's not just psychology. It also aligns us with the heart space and the body. So in the balances, when you ever do a PSYCH-K balance, yeah, you'll see for yourself, it aligns those three: body, heart, mind, spirit, which is why it's so powerful and why it's so effective, I feel. Yeah.
So I just want to break here. I want you to talk a little bit about it. I need to get a charger to put my charger on my phone.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So
amazing.
Our audience entertained. I'll be back in a second.
Sure. See you now.
That's okay. Otherwise, you're gonna lose me.
Yeah, all good. We'll see
good?
you in a moment.
Everybody.
Cool. Thank you, Alma. Yes. So as I was just touching now on the end on the body, mind, and spirit, which is what I feel is such an important alignment in any practice or tool or modality that we use for like transformation and wellness in our lives. And so many of them have been segmented and just focusing on physical or just focusing on mental. And then we kind of lose the plot because we're not these separate fragments. We're like this holistic being, right? So when we bring body, mind, and spirit together into one place and it aligns, that's when our full capacity can access these superhuman powers that we call it and what we speak about. Then we can access these superhuman parts of ourselves where we can manifest and create different experiences and realities through our own alignment. So I think it's so true when people say, like, if you want to make a difference in the world, make a difference in yourself, completely focus on yourself. Because when you are in full alignment, then so much energy can flow through you, more than you can ever even imagine. And that is the superhuman, that is like accessing our full capacity. Then worlds can manifest through us that we could never even imagine before, just through our own alignment. So the only way to support a better world for all of us, I feel, is to take full and radical responsibility for yourself, and the rest just organically flows through that.
So the whole idea about today's talk, and we did talk a little bit too much about other stuff, but that's always how it goes, right? What I really want to just end off with is, how does PSYCH-K help myself and Isolde and quite a lot of other people during this difficult time we're going through? This is how it works. Say I am looking at financial systems that are, breaking down. And then I say, okay, how do you want things to be? How do I want things to be? I want a brand new world, heaven on earth, safe systems, be secure in who I am.
Yeah.
And so that's the want, right? And then the magic
It's a
with C
desire,
is,
and we all desire these life supporting systems, right?
yes.
So it's not a
So
bad
what
thing.
I then say
Feeling.
is
Good thing.
my investments are secure. I am happy and safe. And the world around me is filled with love and laughter and kindness. So I, out of that, create what people would call a goal statement. It's not an affirmation, it's a goal statement. I then program my subconscious mind with that, which means I immediately am overriding a very negative belief and thought that's driving me into a positive, calm, beautiful, loving way of being.
Yes.
And I know people, you're going to say, it can't be. I promise you it is that when I do that and I look at the chaos around me, I don't even feel it. I don't get the fear because somewhere in me, I have changed that belief.
Yes.
And now, not just have I changed the belief and I feel better, but because I feel so good and safe and secure and that there's a loving, kind world out there, I start sending that signal in vibration out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the world starts changing around me, and then it starts changing around the community. And
We
then
are
it
so
starts
connected, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
We are not separate.
Exactly. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is how it helps for you to practice Psych-K.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's also reality stuff. If you're sick, you can do it. If you have a cold, you just balance. I'm healthy and I invite, wellness into my life, and that cold won't last for as long as it would have lasted, because what you're doing also, you're boosting your immune system. I can go on forever. So let's go back to what you wanted to share. What is this lovely thing that you and I are going to do?
Yes. So before I get to that, I just want to close what Alma was saying, that an analogy that I think is such a good one is you're literally just putting yourself on a different train.
Yeah.
And that affects everything. That affects your body, your mind, your spirit, alignment, and that then brings a different reality. So it almost sounds too good to be true, but we overcomplicated things. And when we come back to this simplicity that we are such powerful creators and we just have the tools to align with that when we need it most, when we stressing out or going into anxious possibilities and feeling that around us. And the more people that do this, the more we're going to create more of it in the world. So jump with us on the Psych-K train. And if you feel inspired to learn more, Alma, did you want to say something?
Yes, I did, because what I wanted to say is every one of us on this earth is here to help Earth move through this transformation. Every one of us here is here to help each other through this transformation.
Yes.
And how we do that is by transforming ourselves first.
Totally.
And so
that's what I was speaking about when you were leaving the space. I was like all about radical responsibility and how that's the only way. We can get so distracted with everything around us, but when we align and just focus on ourselves, all that magic can flow through us.
Yeah, and then we create magic, and we are the creators of a beautiful world. And this is this world's end is about having heaven on earth. This is where we are now.
We all desire that. We all feel it. And it's up to us to create it.
But it's also the destiny. This is the world's destiny. And the good news is that there is already enough people working towards this beautiful destiny. And we're inviting you to create with us a beautiful destiny for ourselves and our family and our communities and this world.
Yes, totally. So we decided to put together this workshop where you learn Psych-K, but in a retreat setting for your ultimate experience and integration of the learning process of this modality. And what better place to do it than Costa Rica? It's the most biodiverse place on the planet, and I live here now. And that's one of the reasons why I chose to be here. And we are doing it at a venue called Imaloa, and their philosophy totally aligns with the philosophy of PSYCH-K, which as facilitators, we also do balances and goal statements that connect us to the principles of nature. So there's 11 of those which we totally align with as facilitators. And just doing those balances, it completely shifted the way I operate in the world. I opened up to way more collaboration than I ever thought in a very short moment of time, because the new world is all about collaboration. And that is where we lost our power, is that we thought that we were separate. And these programmings go so deep. So there's so many layers. So that's why it's such an amazing tool to have in your pocket. So you can use it for yourself wherever you go. And when you do this workshop, you'll also be qualified as a facilitator. So you can do it for others. If you are a wellness practitioner, I would say this is the missing key to whatever practice you are doing as a wellness practitioner, as a coach. This is the integration.
Doctor.
Yes.
You know what? Insurance people, corporate entrepreneurs, who or what you are doesn't matter. This fits in with everything.
Yeah. So even if you want to bring change, if you're not a wellness organization and you want to bring big growth and change and healing into your own business, whatever it may be, you can be this powerful leader and facilitator in your own business and help people shift their own stresses or patterns that they're in their business and in their lives, which are affecting their business and their work. So you can be that powerful leader going, let's drop in, let's shift this for you, and see the changes happening in your own experience and in your own organization and in your own relationships with yourself and your loved ones. So if you guys feel inspired and that you resonate with this and you want to learn more and you want to join this train or this workshop and retreat, we will share the link in the comments, which will take you to the landing page where you can have a read through all the information, what it's going to be about, and I'll be sharing some other exciting retreat adventures. Alma is the trainer and I'm going to support her and do some morning yoga, and we're going to do cacao ceremonies, a celebration, and there's a lot of nature adventure at this beautiful venue in the jungle of Costa Rica, eco luxury style. So follow the link in the comments for more info and feel free to connect with us via personal messages or via email. All the information is on there.
It's next year, 1 to 7 July 2023 at the Imaloa Institute. And the price includes like a private plane ride from San Jose Airport to the rainforest and back, and vegan Michelin star food and beautiful accommodation, and really just you know, and on your off time, because there will be off time, you can have massages, you can go to the beach, you know, and all of that stuff. So the 3-day event will happen back to back, but before that and after that, you can immerse yourself in learning and practicing and being with us. And if you need help with stuff, that's why I'm there.
One of the best venues in the world. Hope to see you guys there. Connect with us. Sending you so much love. Thank you for joining us for this live. And in the next 2 lives, we'll go deeper into some other angles of PSYCH-K and the subconscious mind. Okay,
and
guys.
Thank you for being here. And
yes, thank you, Alma, for being on with me. Enjoy your evening in Mama Africa. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.